Alright people, so we have here another example. So we have the quadratic x squared minus 3x minus 5. So is this a factorable quadratic? I don't think so. Okay, so how do we prove that? So just to give you a quick recap, we need to do the b squared minus 4ac test, which is also called the discriminant. Okay, so the b squared minus 4ac, the answer that you should get here to find out if the quadratic that we have is factorable is that the answer should be a perfect square. If it's a perfect square, then this thing is a factorable quadratic. If it's not, then it's not. Alright, so let us test that. So I'm going to write here are A, B, and C. So what are they? A, B, and C are just the coefficients that we have for x squared, x, and the constant. Okay? So what is the coefficient of x squared? It's just 1. And for x, negative 3. And here, it's just a minus 5. Alright, so next, I'm just going to plug these into our b squared minus 4ac. So, I'm going to write here negative 3 squared and minus 4, and then the a is 1, and the c is negative 5. Okay, so we have here negative 3 squared. That's just going to be a 9. And then we have here negative 4 times 1 times negative 5. So that's going to become a positive 20. And altogether, they become 29. No, this is not a perfect square. Therefore, the quadratic that we have right here is not factorable. Not factorable. Alright. So let me erase this because we're going to need this space later on. Okay. How do we solve for the roots if this is not a factorable quadratic? Well, we could use the quadratic formula, which is x is equal to minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yeah, we can do that, but no, because this is the method that I'm teaching you in this video, which is completing the square. So I'm just going to erase that. We're not even going to bother with that here for now, but we're going to be covering that later anyway. So, the first step of completing a square, what is it? Well, we first need to check if our x squared here has a coefficient other than 1. You don't see a number here, so we're good. So the coefficient here is just an invisible 1, so we are good. So the next step after that is we can just rewrite our equation all over again. But here I'm just going to leave space for the number that we need to fill up here. So I'm going to leave that as space. And then the 5 that we have here, we can move that to the other side. So that's going to become a positive 5. Alright. Okay. So what number should we fill up this space with? So from our last video, we just need to take the coefficient of our x term right here. So that's just going to be 3. So I'm going to write here 3. It doesn't matter if it's negative or not. I'm just going to write here 3. And then what do? We just divide it by 2. And then we square it. And what is the number that we get? We're going to get 9 over 4. Alright. So we're going to write here 9 over 4. And 9 over 4 as well on the other side. And don't forget the sign. It's just going to be plus. It's always going to be plus. Okay. And for the next step, I don't know about you, but I don't like fractions. So you can see we have this 4 right here and another 4 right here. So we're going to get rid of that, and we multiply the whole equation by 4. Right, so what are we going to get? So here, we're going to get 4x squared. Here, we're going to get minus 3 times 4. We're going to get minus 12x. And here, the 4 is just going to cancel out. So I'm just going to write out the 9. And here, it's 4 times 5 is 20. And here, the 4 is just going to cancel out. So I'm going to write 9. There we go. Okay, so notice the left side of the equation now. This is now a perfect square trinomial. So we can write this as, what is the square root of 4? That is 2. What is the square root of x squared? That is x. And what is the square root of 9? That is 3. And what sign do we need to put in between? Well, it's just the sign of the middle term right here, which is negative. So I'm going to write here a minus sign. And don't forget about the square. And on the other side, we have 20 plus 9, so that's just going to be 29. All right. So from here, what is the next step? So we have this exponent of 2. How do we get rid of that 2? Well, we're just going to square root both sides. So if we take the square root of both sides, well, on the left side, this is what's going to happen. This 2 and this square root is going to cancel out. So we're only going to have 2x minus 3. And on the right side, we're going to get, of course, the square root of 29. But we need to write a plus minus sign. Because remember, we always have 2 roots. And we also need to consider the negative square root of 29. Alright, so from here, we just move the 3 to the other side. That becomes a positive 3. And right here, 2x. And from here, we can just write x as 3 plus minus square root of 29 all over 2. And there we go. And of course, if you want to write out our roots separately, you can do that. So our first root is going to be 3 plus square root of 29 all over 2. And the other one being 3 minus square root of 29 all over 2. And there we go.